Blog Talk Radio.
Always look up, never give up, and you will reach your goals. You're important, you're more than enough. And here she is, your host for Rolling with the Diva, Sabrina Williams. Thank you.
Free from fear. I sought the Lord, and he assured me. He delivered me from all my fears. Psalm 34:4. Fear sneaks into my heart without permission. It paints a picture of hopelessness and steals my peace. When I'm fearful, what am I fearful about? Safety of my family or the health of loved ones, the loss of a job or a broken relationship. Fear turns my focus inward and reveals an untrusting heart. When there's fear and worry strike, how good is it to read David's prayer in Psalm 34? I sought the Lord, and he answered me. He delivered me from all my fears. And how does God deliver us from our fears? When we look to him, we trust him to be in control. Then David mentions a different type of fear, a deep respect and awe of the one who surrounds and delivers us. We can take refuge in him because he is good. The awe of his goodness helps put our fears into perspective. When we remember who God is and how much he loves us, we can relax into his peace. In seeking the Lord, we can be delivered from our fears. Healing, taken from God Hears Her. 365 devotions for women by women, Our Daily Bread, forward by Elisa Morgan. You can find them on the following places. At Facebook at Discovery House, Twitter at Discovery House, and Facebook is a small d and a small h for that, and then for Twitter it's a big one. And you can go to their blog, dhp.org. All right, this is Sabrina Williams, and I'm Rolling with the Diva. Today we are talking about, are you afraid to face your fear and go on? And what the word is, Schwellenangst. That's actually a word, and it's on a journey, and it's a German word, and it's meaning that somebody's afraid to face fear, go into a new open road, a new work, new job, maybe a family. And fear is not a bad thing, but is it holding you back? That's what we're going to talk about today. Can fear hold you back? Can being afraid to go on a new journey hold you back? Yes, it can. Why are reasons for being a Schwellenangst? I love that word. One, you don't have confidence in yourself. Two, maybe you don't have a support system of people or in place, whether it's, friends from work or family or friends from church. You don't feel that you have that confidence or that support system. Three, your people telling you, no, you won't be successful. No, you cannot do that. Yes, you can. And four, maybe you haven't allowed God or your higher power to help you and give it over to them, because you have to understand there's somebody bigger than you in the universe who wants to help you with all of that. Have I faced fear and been afraid to go on journeys? Oh, absolutely. Have I been in jobs and caused myself to really get distressed in the job because I'm fearful of what might happen, like if I'm successful? And I'll have to admit it, about a year ago, I was really, really fearful of success, and I really didn't realize that sometimes I would jeopardize my own self, and that can set us up too. We're all about keeping it real here on Rolling with the Diva. So, what do you guys think about that? Well, I'm going to read you Psalms 23, and I like this because it just reminds me of the fact that we're not alone here on earth. We have a community of people that we were placed here with. I believe people think that we're alone. We don't need to be with anybody, but we do. It's just sad when we think that we don't, because we really do. We need each other. This is Psalm 23. The Lord is my shepherd. I lack nothing. He makes me lie down in green pastures. He leads me beside quiet waters. Those are my dogs. He refreshes my soul. He guides me along the right path for his name's sake. Even though I walk through the darkest valley, I will fear no evil, for you are with me. Your rod and your staff, they comfort me. You prepare a table before me in the presence of my enemies. You anoint my head with oil. My cup overflows. Surely your goodness and love will follow me all the days of my life, and I will dwell in the house of the Lord forever. So, what is that saying? God is with you. You don't have to be afraid or fearful of going on to a new journey, of trying something new. So you want to, and this is just, I was just thinking about this. I really want to, I think I want to do, what do you call it, people jump out of the plane parachute. I think that would be fun. But some people may be, oh, no, I can't do that. When you tell yourself you can't do something, you can't. Now, there's things that we all going to have our limitations to, but does it hurt to try? No. Trying is accomplishing. Even if you don't have much success of it, you try. You can say, hey, I tried. That wasn't for me. But just, telling yourself I can't do it. I used to have these conversations with my kids when they were younger, and we talk about what you want to do when you get older. Well, I don't know, because what if I can't do this, or what if I can't do that? What if you just try? And I think that as adults, we get into that too. We set ourselves up, well, I'm not good enough. I'm not good looking like him, or I don't have the skills, or I don't have the education. Many successful people don't have the book and mortar classroom education, and they've learned it by life. Nothing wrong with that. Not everybody has to go to college. Not everybody has to be, a doctor or a lawyer. There's so many different things you can do and be a motivational speaker. You can be a teacher. Some people are meant to work 9-to-5 jobs, and some aren't. But we all have a gift, and I think that that's something we need to remember. And that's talked about in 1 Corinthians. Oh, I'm sorry. That's the wrong verse. Sorry. But you have to remember your gifts. We all have a gift in the book of Matthew. I'll have to find it for you. But we're going to play a song, and we'll be right back with Lady Cassandra. Send me.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're back with Rolling with the Diva. You're on the air with Sabrina Williams. And just like I told you guys, I'm going to be using Sabrina Deneen Williams. Rolling with the Diva is still going to be part of the show, but I'm sort of kind of branding my name as my own name, because that's why I want people to remember me buying the show to make it easy. In a few minutes, I'm going to read you from Toby Back, City on Our Knees, and he's a really great Christian singer. But I just want to talk to you guys, because today we're talking about, we use this word, I love it, Schwellenangst, which is a German word, on your journey. And the question I had, are you afraid to be successful? Are you afraid to take that step that you want to take? Are you afraid to leave your job, which you know you're great at, but you have a passion for maybe wanting to start a business as a woman, but you just don't know how it'll feel, and you just feel like, oh my gosh, if I do this, I can't go back. Taking a step of faith is okay. Fear is okay. Stress is okay. You got to embrace them all, because at the end of the day, if something keeps being put on your mind, it means it's time for you to step forward with that. There are so many things that we need in this world. We need people with different talents, with different skills, and people to encourage a person. Say you're a person that has had an abortion and you know how it feels, and you want to go help counsel other women at a pregnancy clinic before they think about it, so you can tell them the things that go through your mind and what happens years after. Like, you know, you're constantly upset. Not constantly. You're constantly thinking about that baby, or you have anger toward you and the person that went through this with you or didn't stand by you. There's so many issues going on. I went through a class, a Bible study with a person after I had an abortion. I was able to get through that. Everybody has skills. Now, that's not where my skill is, but my skill is being an advocate for people, helping them find resources so that they can do better in life. Because if they do better, they can add to the ripple effect of life, and then the world can do better. One person at a time in your corner of the world. So don't be fearful if you have that idea of starting a business, a daycare. You want to be a stay-at-home mom, or you want to be a stay-at-home dad. These are possibilities. Step on. You have a job that you really, really like, and you want a promotion, but you love your boss, and you don't want to leave them, but you know this is where God is calling you. Go. You can still have those friends. Or you have a job and it's taking you nowhere, and it's been a job you've had for 40 years, and your kids are grown now, and now you're saying, I can go out and I can do what I want. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. You know what? Don't let fear or a journey or a path that's standing in front of you, don't let fear overcome you, where you're solidly standing in a block of cement, and you feel that you never can move or never can go forward and never can move or do anything. Yes, you can. The first thing you need to do for whatever it is on your journey that you are having fear and you don't feel that you can go forward is, one, write it down. Write down what you want to do. Write down what you want to do, how you want to do it, where you want to do it, and all the positives. That's what you're going to do, the first thing. Read over that a couple of days. Let that get into your body, into your mind. Feel it, sweat it, believe it. And from there, go to a trusted friend, pastor. Don't tell everybody, because you don't want everybody knowing, and talk with them about it. Lay it out. Ask them what they think the pros and cons are, and then from there, you know what? If it's something that doesn't require money, what does it require for you to do to start this? If you're a business, say you're working at a job, but you think that you can work from home, or you know you can work from home, but you just haven't taken that opportunity and you want to be home with your kids, talk to your boss. First, write it down, all the positives, lay it out. Go talk to a trusted friend, somebody you respect that has been there for you. Don't just go to somebody who will, just say what you want to hear. We don't need that in life. We need truth. And then from there, make a list of everything you might need for that business, whether it's money or whatever you're going to need. And from there, keep going forward. And just go forward, make the changes and adjust. Because you know what? You are meant for greatness. The problem sometimes with going on a journey is that we don't realize when we keep wanting to go to a different road, and it keeps coming back to us no matter what we do in life. It's a passion that we probably have for that, and we need to embrace it. And I can testify that I've always wanted to help people be in the ministry as in some sort, not a minister because I couldn't stand up there and speak on the pulpit because I'd be calling people out for their stuff. But I always want to be behind the scenes. So, yeah, you can do what you want and believe in yourself. If you want to go to another country and be a missionary, that's possible too. Don't give up on something because you think it's impossible. The impossible is only happens when you don't try. You never fail, no matter how many times it doesn't work. You never fail until you stop trying or you just say, I can't do it. Even if you try, that's succeeding. All right? All right, so I want to read your story. And it's from Toby Mack's book. It's called City on His Knees. And I love this story because it talks about a young man that wasn't held back by fear and wanted to make a difference. And this first part is by Toby Mack. City is about a moment that we all come together. Our differences fall by the wayside, and love fills in the cracks. We turn our attention on what unites us. That's what I've envisioned when I wrote the song. City is about a moment. That moment could be now. Toby Mack. All right. I'm going to read the story. It's about 3 pages. I hope you guys enjoy it. I'd love to have your feedback at CVWT Diva. And tell me what you think. My dogs just came in from a walk. You'll hear them eating and crunching because that's what they do. All right. The story is called The White Rose. Let me make sure I'm speaking on. Yes, I do. In 1941, Hans Schul was a conscripted soldier in Hitler's army. He had been assigned to spend a year as part of the occupation force in Poland and southern Russia. Here he saw Russians and Jews used as slave labor, something that twisted his insides. One day, as he saw a young Jewish girl forced to dig ditches, his heart went out to her. The thought occurred to him, there, but for the grace of God, I could have been or one of my sisters. He gave the young girl his rations, but she refused, suspicious of his kindness. So he pulled the flower from alongside the road and offered it again. Thinking it nothing but kindness, she accepted. Soon he moved on and eventually returned to school as a medical student with some friends and his sister Sophia, who was studying to be a nurse. Every time he heard rumors of the concentration camps, he thought of the young girl and wondered what had become of her. One day, Sophia comes to Hans, deeply troubled. She had read a sermon by the Bishop of Munster. Clemens Galen denounced the Nazi Aryan eugenics plan to euthanize mentally ill and developmentally disabled patients for the good of Germany. Bloodlines. As a medical student, Sophia was mortified by the inhumanity and the cold-bloodedness of this logic and its lack of compassion for the innocent. Galen preached that this program was against God's commands, against the law of nature, and against the systems of jurisprudence in Germany. Shocked by her report, Hans and some other students made copies of the sermon and distributed them as pamphlets because distributing any publications not approved by the government was illegal. The students discreetly left piles of them in school hallways when no one was looking. Others they mailed to various private homes and public houses in typed envelopes. As news of the war grew worse, Hans and Sophia felt compelled to speak out again. You're on the air with Rolling with the Diva. This is Sabrina Williams. I'm your host, and we're reading the story of White Rose. Our topic today is going forward and getting past your fear of your journey. And the story we're talking about, you'll understand why I read it. They and a trusted group of friends, Alexander Chamorro, Willie Graff, Jürgen Wutzenstein, Christopher Probst, and one of their professors, Kurt Huber, banded together into what they called the Society of the White Rose. Their goal, inspired both by their faith and by their disgust of the war's injustices, was simple: to tell the truth, a truth that the official press obscured with propaganda. The group's publications call for return to democracy in Germany, as well as for social justice for Germany, for German, Jew, and foreign alike. Using phone books, the group found the addresses of college professors and other people of influence, began mailing leaflets to them. They also targeted random home addresses they saw in their daily life. And of course, they continued to leave anonymous stacks of literature in the school's hallway between classes. In order to broaden their influence, hold on, my dog's under the bed. You guys need to get up on the bed. My dogs are like 2-year-olds. When I'm on the phone, they're doing things they shouldn't be doing. He just took my shoe from under the bed. Wow. In order to broaden their influence, they traveled to different parts of the country on weekends to gather more names and addresses. Then, in early 1943, came news of the Nazi defeat at Stalingrad, in which hundreds and thousands of Germans were killed in battle. Many of the dead were the age of Hans and Sophia. Some were even younger. All told, more than 2 million died on both the Axis and the Allied side. More than 90,000 Germans were taken captive. Many of them would die as prisoners of war. News of this devastation convinced the members of the White Rose that it was time to call for an end to the war. On the night of February 4th, 8 and 15, they snuck into the silent streets of Munich to paint anti-Hitler slogans on walls. They wrote, "Hitler, the mass murderer, down with Hitler, and freedom, freedom, freedom." They also painted huge crossed out swastikas as symbols of their call for action. In further hope of inspiring a youth uprising, they printed more leaflets than they ever had before. They published 9,000 despite the strict wartime rationing of ink and paper. They titled their leaflets, "Their 6 Fellow Fighters in the Resistance." It began, "Shaken and broken, our people behold the laws of men of Stalingrad. 330,000 German men have been senselessly and irresponsibly driven to death and destruction by the inspired tragedy of the War I Private First Class reference to Hitler. The name of Germany is dishonored for all time if German youth do not finally rise, take revenge, smash its tormentors, students. The German people look to us." As copies of this leaflet fell into the hands of the Gestapo, they activated all officers to find those who had taken any part in the rioting, printing or distributing it. The students have been extremely careful not to be seen with piles of pamphlets. But when Sophia, in a whimsical act of defiance, flung a handful off the 3rd balcony of the medical building, a witness reported her. In short order, she was arrested. Once her identity was known, it didn't take long for the authorities to round up everyone she knew well and start questioning them. 4 days later, Sophia and the others found themselves on trial for treason. With little regard for due process, Hans, Sophia, Christopher Probst were sentenced to execution by the guillotine. The sentence was to be carried out that afternoon. So Sophia's last encounter with her parents was recorded in the book A Noble Treason by Richard Haunser. Then a woman prisoner guard brought in Sophia. She was wearing her everyday clothes, a rather bulky crocheted jacket and a blue skirt, and she was smiling. Her mother tentatively offered her some candy, which Hans had declined. "Gladly," said Sophia, taking it. "After all, I haven't any lunch." She, too, looked somehow smaller, as if drawn together, but her face was clear, and her smile was fresh and unforced, with something in it that her parents read as triumph. "Sophia, Sophia," her mother murmured, as if to herself, "to think you'll never be coming through the door again." Sophia's smile was gentle. "Oh, Mother," she said, these few little years." Sophia's school looked at her parents and was strong in her pride, and certainly. "We took everything up on ourselves," she said. "What we did will cause waves." Her mother spoke again. "Sophia," she said softly, "remember Jesus." "Yes," replied Sophia earnestly, almost commandingly. "But you too." She left them, her parents, Robert and Magdalene, in school. With her face still lit by a smile, they loved her so well and would never see again. She was perfectly composed as she was led away. Robert Moore, the Gestapo official in charge of her initial questioning, who had come out to the prison on business of his own, saw her in her cell immediately afterwards, and she was crying. It was the first time Moore had seen her in tears, and she apologized. "I have just said goodbye to my parents," she said. "You understand." She had not cried before her parents. For them, she had smiled. As Christopher Probst prepared for his death, he received news that his wife had given birth to their 3rd child. she knew nothing about what's happening to him. After receiving his last rites from a priest, Fisher said, "Now my death will be easy and joyful." Hans, Sophia, and Christoph died with dignity and honor within the next few hours. Having dared to step across the line, they were looking more ahead to the glory they were about to experience in heaven than the evil they left behind. Just as the blade was about to fall off Hans' neck, he called out, "Long live freedom!" A single rose later found in his pocket. One day, I was walking past the memorial and Frank Joseph Street to Sophia's school, a young girl who had opposed Hitler, and I realized that she was the same age as me and that she was executed the same year I started working for Hitler. At that moment, I really sensed that it was no excuse to be young and that it might have been possible to find out what had been going on. Trudel Jung, one of Hitler's private secretaries. All right, I just wanted you guys to read that because, I wanted to read that to you guys because you know what? Those kids, they had fear. They did, but they were overcome by the ability to want to see a change in their life. Sometimes that's what we're called to do things that might get us death. But you know what? The reward is great. And, and sometimes we are called to do things in life that nobody else agrees with us, whether it's to start a ministry, go on a mission, help people, or go witness to people, and people don't agree. But at the end of the day, overcoming your fear to do something great will go down in the history books of maybe not the world, but of God. And that was from Toby Mack, City on Our Knees. And I would really encourage you guys to get that book. It has a lot of different stories in it. Thank you for listening to Rolling with the Diva. We're going to go out with a song. Remember, you can do anything you want. Only you hold you back. Keep going. Life is worth it. Remember, 211 in any area that you live in the United States can give you referrals for whether it's low-income housing, whether you need referrals for domestic violence and you're in a relationship that you're getting hurt, you need to get out of that. Call 911. If you're being physically abused, you can get to a shelter. Unfortunately, there's not as many shelters for women as there are men. Maybe you need just food to get over a hump because, maybe you have some extra bills to pay. They can give you names for food banks or churches. If you're in a church, go to your church, ask for food, ask for help. There's 211 has a lot of resources and for low-income housing. We're going to go to a song, and that will be the end, and we will see you guys tomorrow. This week I'm trying to do extra broadcasts because I'll be going in for my knee surgery. Here we go.
Flashing lights in a backyard table, torn jeans and a quarter-inch cable. We point our speakers to the moon. Blankets that were laying on rooftops, taking shots in the parking lot. We'll fly away like air balloons. I'm feeling high, getting low, moving upward, dancing slow. When it goes down, we gotta believe we're